Loyalists in the Revolutionary War. A loyalist is a person who stays loyal to an established government. This term is used to describe people in the Revolutionary War who remained loyal to the British government when the colonists started to revolt. The Patriots didn't like the new taxes and rules the government were now enforcing. The Loyalists understood the taxes needed to be collected in order to pay for the French and Indian War. The Loyalists are given a bad name for staying loyal to the British, but they just wanted to protect their way of life. The Patriots would hurt and abuse the Loyalists because of the different beliefs. In history, we learn that Loyalists are bad and considered to be the enemy. But were they really when the Patriots of the time were hurting them? A political view from a Loyalist named Anne Hunton tells what she saw one night that happened to one of her fellow Loyalists to her friend Elizabeth Lightbody in a letter.
The most shocking cruelty was exercised a few nights ago upon a poor old man, Malcolm, who was stripped stark naked one of the severest cold nights this winter. His body, covered all over with tar, was dragged in a cart with thousands watching, some beating him with clubs and knocking him out of the cart, then in again. They gave him several severe whippings at different parts of the town. This parade of honor and sport of cruelty was exhibited for about 5 hours.
Anne Hunton was upper class, and her brother was a tax collector. The tarring and feathering happened often, sometimes twice to the same person, and this led to fear from the Loyalists, and it could lead to death from the burns the tar caused or the abuse the people caused. Malcolm mentioned in her letter survived and went on to be tarred again. The abuse the Loyalists dealt with for just supporting the way of the most had always known made tensions grow between the Loyalists and the Patriots. The Patriots even attacked the Loyalists like clergyman Samuel Peters. They harmed the people who followed him. In the letter, he describes the damage.
For my telling the church people not to take up arms, the Sons of Liberty have almost killed one of my church, tarred and feathered two, abused others, and on the 6th day destroyed my windows and tore my clothes. The Lord deliver us from anarchy.
Though not everyone had a bad side in war, some tried to patch it up. When a Patriot son learned his father was dying, he wrote a letter to him.
My honored father, with much grief I received the account of your indisposition, but at the same time was happy to find you rather growing better, and that there was a prospect of your recovery. Not that I deemed you anxious to live, I suppose the contrary, but whether to live or die, I know you are perfectly resigned to the will of heaven. But for the sake of your family and friends, I wished you to live yet many years, that I too might again see you, and manifest that filial duty which I feel and would cheerfully pay to your latest breath. When I look back on past time, I regret our differences of sentiment, in great as well as sometimes in little politics, as it was a deduction from the happiness otherwise to have been enjoyed. Yet you had always too much regard to freedom and thinking and the rights of conscience to lay upon me any injunctions which could interfere with my own opinion of what was my duty. In all things I have endeavored to keep a good conscience, void of offense towards God and man. Often I have thanked my Maker for the greatest blessing of my life. Your example and instructions in all duties I owe to God and my neighbor. They have not been lost upon me, though I am aware that in many things I have offended and come short of my duty. For these things I am grieved, but not as those who have no hope. I am deeply indebted too for your care in my education. I only regret that I improved my time no better. But although the line of action I have pursued has not always been such as you would have chosen, yet, but I boast not, in regard to religion and morality, I hope you have never repented that I was your son. By God's grace, I will in my future life aim at higher attainments in those all essential points, not only from a sense of duty to my Creator, from a regard to my own happiness here and beyond the grave, but that I may never wound the breast of a parent to whom I am under so many and so great obligations. My love and duty to you and my mother.
The son tried to patch things up between them and say goodbye even though they had different beliefs. The Loyalists go down bad in history as bad, unpatriotic, and horrible people because the renters write the history whether it's right or not. Most Loyalists end up leaving or moving to either Britain or Canada. The end.